What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Hope you all had a great weekend. Getting into this episode of GH, I enjoyed this episode, especially the Sonny and Miss Wu scenes. Those were very interesting episodes. Um, Sonny is a lot more generous than I would have been in that situation. Like as far as like the Novak assets, like he's willing to give Miss Wu half of Vincent Novak's assets. I was like, damn. That's overly generous, but I don't blame him. I mean, she definitely proved that she's an ally to the Corinthos family. Um, she had a major request though, a very big request. Like she wanted Sonny to use his influence with the parole board to get her nephew Brad out. Now, I don't know if this was confirmed before that Brad was her nephew because I was shocked. But I was surprised, but kind of not in a way, if it makes sense, because I remember Brad mentioned something about his family, so I had a feeling that his family was in the mob because I think he did mention that before. But I was like, damn, Miss Wu. I said okay, but I feel like Miss Wu was asking for too much, in my honest opinion. She was asking for way too much. Like I just think it was too much to ask Sonny to influence the parole board to get him out and stuff to make sure that he gets a release. I'm glad Sonny made the choice that he made, and he basically was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do that." I don't blame Sonny because at the end of the day, it's not really his place to do that because Brad hurt a lot of people with what he did, but this is more Michael's beef than Sonny's beef. You know what I mean? But I think Sonny was overly fair because Miss Wu was getting a little attitude when Sonny was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do that for you." She got an attitude and she was like, "Yeah, well, I guess we ain't got nothing else to talk about." You could tell she was pissy. Oh, she was pissy. But I'm glad she changed her tune once he told her there's another favor he could do for her. He's not going to influence the parole board to get Brad out, but he's also not going to influence the parole board to keep Brad in. So if Brad gets out on parole on his own merits, Sonny's not going to interfere. And she was appreciative of that, as she should be, because I feel like Sonny was being fair. More fair than most people would have been. Um, she was also worried about Michael because he's a quartermain. He has connections and influence of his own that he can use. And Sonny was like, Michael's Michael. That's his beef. But at the same time, he assured her nobody from his family will retaliate against Brad if he gets out of prison. Nobody's gonna retaliate. I don't know if Sonny can hold true to that. I don't know if he can hold true to that statement because he was speaking on behalf of the entire family. I don't think he can speak on behalf of Carly and Michael because we all know how Carly and Michael are. They always want their revenge. They always want their pound of flesh. So I don't know how well that's going to go when he breaks that down to Carly because Carly wanted to know what Miss Wu said. So once he tells Carly about this, I don't think she's going to be too happy. I think a part of her is going to feel like Sonny done went soft because he doesn't want revenge against Nina. Now you're not doing anything about Brad. I used to think that when I first saw Sonny come back, I used to think maybe he got a little soft because of Nixon Falls. But after watching his scenes with Joey and the way he's been talking and acting with Cyrus and stuff like that, I feel like Sonny may have gotten a little bit more methodical in his thinking. I don't think he's soft. I just think he's a lot more smarter somewhat in his thinking, the way that he's dealing with people. Because Sonny used to be a real hothead. Like whenever somebody did something to Sonny, Sonny will go off. He'll be ready to grab that gun, and that's usually when a mistake happens. You know what I'm saying? We saw what happened with Dante. Like he went crazy. We saw what happened with Johnny. Johnny pissed him off. He made a knee-jerk reaction, and he almost got his daughter blown up. So I think Sonny's starting to think a little bit more. He's thinking more so than reacting. You know what I mean? I think that's a good thing for the most part. But we all know why he ain't doing nothing to Nina. We know why. Carly don't know why yet, but we know why. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, I enjoyed the little chat between Diane and Carly. See, even Diane agrees Carly should have bitch smacked her. Even Diane wants to see that fight. Diane was like, "Listen, I could have got you off." She was like, "If you would have whooped her ass," because that's what Diane was thinking. She was like, "I'm surprised I didn't get a phone call from the PCPD telling me that you were there on assault charges." And Carly was like, would you have been able to get me off if I did? She was like, huh? Like, Diane was looking at her like, have you forgotten who you're talking to? I'm Diane Miller. She was like, please, I can get anybody off. I was like, exactly. Why are you asking her that question? Um, Diane was coming up with all types of ideas to get back at Nina. She was like, we could file a lawsuit. She was like, we got a hell of a case for a civil suit. She was like, I can pretty much guarantee a victory and we'll get every dollar that we can from her. Like, she'll be broke by the time I'm done with her. But, Carly was like, no, Sonny didn't want it, so I ain't about to retaliate. Um, Carly's still trying to navigate her marriage with Sonny because she's seeing a different Sonny than what she's normally, what she's used to. So she's trying to figure that out. And in the process, she feels that she has to put her friendship with Jason on hold for the sake of her marriage. I find that to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. You do not have to put your friendship on hold. Sonny ain't putting his friendship on hold with Jason. He not putting his business ties on hold with Jason. So why should you have to put your friendship on hold? At the end of the day, her and Jason made it abundantly clear to themselves, to each other and to Sonny, everything was going back to the way it was. They were just going to be friends again and nothing more, nothing less. So why do you feel the need to put your relationship with him on hold? There's no need for it. There's no need for it. Why? Because Sonny has an issue with y'all getting married or whatever because of how close they got. Sonny, I'm pretty much sure he knows things got close. I mean, hell, even Jason said it. He was like, if you didn't show up, we would have slept together. So he knows the gist of what happened. Maybe he is having a hard time with it, but at the same time, I would resume my friendship because at the end of the day, it's not like Sonny's being open and honest about what happened to Nixon Falls. And at some point, he's going to have to because it's going to come out one way or the other. Like, somebody's going to find out about it. So if I was Carly, I would not back down from nothing. I was like, listen, me and Jason been friends a long time. We gonna stay friends, like whether Sonny likes it or not. At the end of the day. So anyway, moving on from that mess. Esme, Lord have mercy. I knew she was not gonna be happy when Spencer told her that he is pretty much broke. Like he's not gonna try to get a piece of the Cassadine fortune. I knew she wasn't gonna be happy about it. I could tell about it her facial expression, but she tried to put up a front like, she was proud of him for being him and not going against what he stand for. Please, that was all just smoke and mirrors. She knows she pissed. She was counting on that money. I just really wish Esme and Spencer would mind their damn business when it comes to Cameron and Jocelyn's bedroom stuff. Like, why don't y'all mind y'all business? Why are y'all so worried about them sleeping together? How is that any of your concern? Like, maybe they're just not ready. I really don't want to see Cameron and Jocelyn get pressured, peer pressured, into doing something that neither one of them are really ready for. Neither of them are ready for what comes with having sex for the first time. I don't think they're really ready. They're just doing it because Esme has something to say about it. Now Spencer has something to say about it. Cameron was getting on my nerves a little bit when he was saying how he disagreed with Trina's advice to Spencer about being his own man and not going after the Cassadine money or whatever, not trying to get his money. I'm like, at the end of the day, it's true. Spencer is pampered. Everybody knows that. He's spoiled. He pampered. But I feel like if he continues to be that way, it's going to continue to stunt his growth as a person. He's never going to know how to do anything on his own if he always has servants and butlers and money at his disposal. There's nothing wrong with having money, but you also should have a good work ethic about you. You shouldn't be so high and mighty and snobby for something you didn't actually work for. And I think he needs to learn and get into the real world. So I don't understand why Cameron is like, oh, I would have, if I was you, I would have went to the money and stuff like that. I would have just apologized and got my money. No. See, they talk crap about him when he is spoiled and being a brat and stuff like that. But when he's trying to stand on his own 2 feet, you got a problem with it. Make up your mind. Make it make sense. Like, I'm actually happy that he walked away from the money. Maybe he can build his own fortune one day. You never know. When they started talking about Trina and stuff like that, and how he listened to Trina's advice, did y'all see the look Esme gave Spencer? if looks could kill, that boy would be dead right about now. She looked at him with just ice coldness in her eyes when it was mentioned that Trina gave him that advice. Basically, he like Spencer was in trouble. I said, dude, you're in trouble. The way she was looking at you, you are in danger, sir. She looked at him like she was ready to chop his damn head off. Like she really did. Esme was not here for it. And she's threatened. She's been threatened since day one by Trina. She's so threatened by the closeness. And Spencer was trying to be all up in a business when Esme was asking him, Cameron, did him and Trina ever hook up? Like, did they ever date or stuff like that? And Spencer was like, oh, how close did y'all get? And you could see the look on Esme's face. She could tell that Spencer's into Trina. She's definitely threatened. Because when Spencer went into the kitchen, Esme was, basically telling Cameron that she wanted to get to know Trina better. Like, she was like, oh, I need to get to know her, have a conversation, get to know her ASAP. I was like, yo, this girl is demented. She is crazy. Trina and Jocelyn better watch their back with her. Because they already peep game about her. The only person that's delusional and naive about her is Cameron. Like, Cameron just listens to everything this girl got to say. And it still baffles me and troubles me how this girl knows so much about Jocelyn. Like, she knows a lot about her, including about Oscar and his brain cancer and stuff. Like, this girl knows everything. Like, stuff that obviously, Jocelyn never told her. Like, way too much info. They need to start gathering some info on her ass. Try to get something to use against her. Because I'm pretty sure her past is definitely not squeaky clean. Seeing as how she's estranged from her family, like she say. So start there. Call Spinelli and find out who her family is. If I was Jocelyn, I would do that. Call Spinelli and get his help. You got to find out about this girl. Get 2 steps ahead of her ass. So anyway, moving on from that. Sam was kind of getting on my nerves a little bit with her funky ass attitude. I didn't like her attitude towards Harmony. Like, yes, Harmony has done some bad things or whatever that she shouldn't have done, but at least she's on the road to redemption. Like, she's changing her life around. Steady job, trying to do better. And, Alexis, of course, had to apologize to Harmony on Sam's behalf because Sam was, surprised that Harmony and Alexis basically became friends while Alexis has been staying at Spring Ridge. I'm like, Harmony has been a positive influence on Alexis, like giving her advice and talking to her and trying to help her and stuff, because Alexis is scared to death about getting out of prison. She's afraid because of what the outside world is going to look like for her. She has no job. She's a recovering alcoholic with access to liquor now, that she didn't have on the inside. So, of course, she's nervous. And the only person that was really helping her get through this was Harmony and their conversations. So Sam need to calm down. Like, at least your mother has somebody on the inside that she could talk to every day, about her struggles. That's a good thing. Not many people have that. So of course Sam was pissed when she found out that Nikolas pretty much wanted, to blackmail Alexis into doing his bidding, basically, by withholding her release from prison in order to keep himself out of prison. So of course Sam wasn't happy about that, and Nikolas was even more pissed when he found out that Alexis spoke to Spencer and basically told him to cut Nikolas out of his life. And Alexis was like, I didn't say that exact word, but, she was like, I'm not apologizing for saying it, though, for alluding to it, that he need to cut Spencer out because she feel like Spencer needs to be his own man and, get some better influences in his life. And I agree, he do, but it's going to be hard for him to fully cut Nikolas out because I don't think that's going to last long, honestly. I think at some point him and Nikolas are going to find their way back to each other as father and son. I think so. But I'm glad, that Nikolas basically told Alexis, he was like, even though you basically try to turn my son against me, I'm not going to, stop the governor from giving you your pardon. He was like, I'm going to, be a man of my word. He said, I'm going to let you out still. Even though he kind of don't have a choice because he already know if he would have called that governor, Sean would have been back on his ass in 2 seconds. He already know it. He know it. He would have got another visit from Sean had he did that. So he ain't stupid. But at least Sam was, nice enough to thank him at least, even though I wouldn't have thanked him because at the end of the day, you ain't about to blackmail my mother. I don't care if you did do a good deed. It was a good deed that was wrapped up in some bullshit, but it is what it is. I really do hope Alexis and Harmony continue their friendship outside of Spring Ridge. I really do, because I think Alexis needs some genuine friends around her. I mean, she does. Don't get me wrong. She got Diane. Diane has always been a genuine friend, but it's not bad to have somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta. It's not bad to have more genuine friends, and I could definitely see a genuine connection between her and Harmony, and I like it. So anyway, moving on from that, Peter is such an ass. Like he really is. So basically, he wants Britt to be by his side, basically. Embrace him as a brother and work together side by side is what he wants. I have a feeling that if that were to happen, Britt would definitely be playing him. Because that's our only option at this point. In order to get some type of freedom from him, you gotta like lure him in. You know, that's the only way to defeat somebody like Peter. That's the only way to beat them. You have to take where they're vulnerable and use it against them. That's exactly what she needs to do. Like he wants her by his side and stuff. Use that. Use Maxie if you have to. That's what I always say. Like, they need to talk to Maxie. Anna needs to go to Maxie and see if she can use her as bait. I think that's the best way. Take his obsession and turn it on him. That's the only way to really get him at this point. And that's what Jason's trying to do. Jason's trying to get Drew to pretty much kill Peter. He was like, that's the only way to stop this, mind control and stuff that he has over you. You got to take his ass out. You got to find a way to play him and take him out. That's the only way they're all going to get out of this situation. Peter is a nutball. But I'm kind of enjoying him right now because without Faison and Helena around, we do need the next generation of villains. And I feel like he could be a pretty good one. I do. I feel like he could be a pretty decent one. He has that menacing about him, like that he does pretty well. So I think he can definitely be a good villain. Um, I don't see them killing off Peter anytime soon, to be honest. Prison, yeah, or him going on the run. Like Jerry Jacks. Speaking of Jerry, where the hell is Jerry? I miss Jerry. Such a good villain. But hopefully Britt can turn the tables on Peter because Jason and Drew are in a sticky situation right now. They need to find any and whatever opening they can to get the hell out of this mess. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought. I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.